Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Talk Back. Right, so today's main topic is going to be called, we're titling it, The Vaccine Killer. I'm your host, Dee. Along with me, I have my co host, we have Nat.
Hi.
And we have Cass.
Hi, guys.
And if you guys have been following us for some time, you know that we don't hold anything back. We literally just spill according to the way we feel is our personal opinions. We're not here to offend anyone, but we do come online to just be ourselves. So without further ado, you've noticed that we've been off for a little while and many reasons why that has been, but we're really happy to be back. And so on that note, I'd like to find out what everyone's been up to date. I'm going to pass it straight to Nat because I always say Nat does so much, and oftentimes I find it hard to keep a tab of what she's doing. So I'm going to pass it on to Nat. Nat, what have you been up to?
Well, the DJing is definitely taking off. I've been playing here, there, everywhere. I've been putting on events. I've had 2 tracks released. Was I? I'm not sure if we were on air when they were released, but they were released in the summer. So I've had 2 tracks that are up now to on all leading platforms on Spotify.
Actually, you mentioned it. You mentioned them coming. Yeah, you did.
So I had my tracks released. Still, it's mainly music. Music's taken over my life. DJing is just taking off. Got a couple of international bookings, you know.
Well done.
We're flying out and that.
We're here for it. We're here for it. Absolutely love that. And I can definitely kind of like relate to what you're saying in terms of how music takes your life, taken over. Yeah. For me, I'm a DJ. I've been DJing for a number of years. And one of the things that I always say to beginner DJs is that you have no idea how much time we put into this thing. So that's why when people want to pay us, like, I don't know what they think they're paying us. They have no idea what the backlog of work that's involved
it's
in.
No joke, is it? It's downloading the tracks. You've got to spend time finding your. There's so much to do, but I'm really loving it. So
I'm really proud of you. Actually, I'm so proud to see you having come this far, this quick.
Yeah, as well. It's crazy, isn't it?
Really, really quick.
I'm like surprised myself. I'm like, just really me.
Yes, you. You're doing this thing.
Entertaining though. From your poetry.
Yeah, so there's lots of different things. It's just another avenue, and it's all kind of pulling in together. Mm-hmm. Like, so I use my modelling pictures to promote my mixes. Okay. Like it's just all I'm just tying it all in, aligning.
Yes, darling.
What you, Cass? What have you been up to?
Then I've been working. I'm always working around the clock. Yes. But I've now merged more into family law. I specialise in crimes. I've been doing a lot more family cases. Okay. The DV was quite high.
Must be quite interesting, quite stressful as well, actually.
Yes, some of my clients can be quite stressful, but it's all about client care and knowing how to deal with them and understanding some of them have traumas and triggers and just getting them the right result. Because I don't like to lose.
Who does? Who likes to lose? I don't like to lose.
Not Miss on point. She never likes to lose.
And on that note, actually, so this month is International Women's Month. And I would definitely say we are 3 very strong, powerful women. And also, you just heard Kay say she doesn't like to lose, and neither do I. There's nothing that I get involved in that sometimes things don't always work out, but it's a learning curve. It's an experience. It's a learning lesson. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I really appreciate about this month is for International Women's Month, it's an opportunity for women to be celebrated. It's an opportunity for women's voices to be heard. And just generally, like, International Women's Month, what does that mean to you guys?
I mean, I think it's good. I think it's nice that there's actually something for women, and just to celebrate the strength and the hurdles that we've been jumping over the last decades.
Yes.
And it's nice. It's like it's Mother's Day. There's so much space for celebration. There's so much space for celebration, and we need that time.
Do you think a month is enough, though?
I mean, is it the whole month? I thought it was just a day.
I don't know. I'm actually, let's talk about that, because I thought International Women's Month is the whole month. But some people say International Women's Day, which falls within the month. Well, there was a day
last week, Wednesday, because I did a little mix that I put out. So that was the actual day, last week, Wednesday.
Okay.
And then there's Mother's Day. But is it supposed to be the
So month? It's the whole month then?
Well, I thought it was the day initially. Maybe it's expanded now being the month.
I don't know when that happens.
We need a year, really. For the things that we do. Yeah, we do. As mothers,
Men don't get no love, so they say.
Did you know, guys? I don't know if this is appropriate, but the other day, last week Tuesday, was Steak and BJ Day.
Steak and
BJ Day.
What's that?
Oh, steak. Let me have Steak and BJ Day. Oh, it's adult content.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Is that adult content?
Steak and BJ Day.
BJ sounds like an adult content.
Yeah, it's an adult thing. But basically, it's like a woman. It's like Americans did it a month after Valentine's Day. So it's time to celebrate the men. So there you go.
Oh, Steak and BJ. Okay. So what men enjoy, which is steak and the BJ. Right. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but
neither did I.
That's really interesting. We learn something new every day.
It's a bit cheeky, but why do you have to?
Why do you have to call it Steak and BJ?
But why do you have to have the steak? I don't get it.
Why'd you have to have BJ?
Exactly.
Anyway, you know what? Okay, so it was Mother's Day yesterday. I, for one, am for Mother's Day, but my confusion again is that the Americans have their own Mother's Day, and we in the UK have our own Mother's Day.
When's the American one then?
The American is a different time. There's like two Mother's Day. Because my children woke up and yesterday I had no idea it was a Mother's Day. They were like, we thought you've already done that. And it's true. I can remember them making me breakfast some point earlier this year. Was it in the last year?
So you need to celebrate twice.
So yeah, it's true. I did say to them, that means I get to celebrate it twice. So next year, do not mess up. So what did you guys get up to?
Well, I was going down to see my mum.
Okay.
So I thought all the siblings went down to see mum. My son gave me a box of chocolates, dashed me a box of Ferrero Rocher on Saturday.
Dashed you?
Thank you.
I think the girls are always sweeter.
Is this tomorrow? Is this for tomorrow?
The girls are always sweeter.
He's like, well, I'm not going to see you in the morning and I'm going to be the sugar.
At least you got dashed but
then when I got home, there was another box of chocolates and some flowers.
Oh,
so that was nice.
That's lovely.
But it's just a delivery. Basically, is how I got it.
Okay, what did you get?
My Mother's Day was lovely. I woke up to breakfast in bed.
Okay. Nice.
Then I just lounged around. Actually, I did go to church online.
Okay.
So I had breakfast in bed. Got my gifts, which was flowers and chocolates and a bit of perfume. Lovely card. Some beautiful messages. My children, they extended the love and mum, thank you for this and that. My son was just like, Mum, happy Mother's Day. Nothing, no extras. So it was really nice. And they cooked me dinner. My favorite dishes. Yeah. Well, they made macaroni, rice, egg fried rice actually.
Nice.
Barbecue chicken.
They really learned from you, isn't it?
Yeah, they can cook. Remember, I was sick through COVID.
Yeah.
And the girls learned how to cook. Yeah. So. Really nice.
They did do nicely.
Yeah,
my daughter actually forgot. I don't want to forget to mention my daughter. She sent me. She's at uni. She sent me this beautiful.
I did admire that when you entered in there. I said I really liked.
This is the one.
Lovely.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
It's not really matching my look today. That's why it's tucked in, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Actually, now that we've kind of touched upon what we've been doing, anyway, aside from the fact that the boys didn't do anything or the children didn't do anything for me, I was hosting a women's event yesterday from 6 to 10, and it was just about recognizing and acknowledging inspirational women that have done great things in the community. So we had finance talk, we had talks from a Jewish autism organization, we had talks on mental health, and one of the biggest topics was depression, because obviously people just don't really talk about things like that. And me being African, it's very tabooish to talk about.
In the black community.
I'm actually doing a course at the moment for obviously I work with young people, and I'm doing a course on self-harm and suicide, and it's plaguing. You hear so many people who are taking their lives and they feel isolated, they feel hopeless. And there's a lot of people that actually are giving up.
Yeah, well, there was a soar in mental health illness since lockdown. Because imagine everyone was used to going out about your everyday lives, and then everyone was locked down, confined into their homes, and that is where mental health deteriorated. So people that were unwell weren't able to get the care that they were used to getting. They deteriorated, and people that were just, their mental health was at a normal rate deteriorated. So, mental health is a very serious thing, and I advise people to always, talk up, reach out for help. There are a lot of organizations out there that will support you, and just know that you're loved and you're valued. God loves you, and life will always get better.
And that's one of the things
And
that was highlighted yesterday
reach out as well.
Yeah.
I think reach
it's
out
about
to a
having
friend.
that people.
You
You might be
assume.
surprised thinking nobody really cares, but all that if they just hear from you and they know what you're going through, maybe they can bring you food, maybe they just check up on you.
But that's what I'm saying. I think as friends and family as well, we have to reach out or check on people because we get so caught up in our everyday lives. I think I'm guilty, busy doing this, busy doing that, but you have to take time to check in.
Yeah. And especially the men.
The men,
The men don't
hard.
speak up and they feel
really,
like it's a
really
weakness to kind of show their vulnerabilities. Where that's what you just need to reach out to that friend. Or even if you don't have a friend, reach out to a local church. You know, UCKG.
And there's lots of charities and organisations. Just
there's
a phone call away.
All right, mate. There's a lot of like all right, mate's one that is set up for friends, like and for men.
All right, mate.
All right, mate.
I like that.
Are you all right, mate?
You're right, mate.
Like check in and have a check in on your friends.
Oh wow.
Because there's a lot of pressure, and I think for men as well, there's a lot of like financial stress. Like there's so much expectation.
And the youth as well, actually. Let's
Yeah,
not forget them because they were the category that kind of really suffered throughout COVID.
It soared with
At work, adults. We've got because a lot of the young people that I tend to be working with now, they tend to be. It's like the year 9s across all the schools. It's the year 9s, and that year 9s and year 10s were the ones that were out for COVID, and they're not used to being in that setting. And it's taken time to adjust. It's taken time for everybody to adjust.
Yeah, it has. But then flipping it on in terms of International Women Month, one of the things that we noticed that have happened this month. Well, actually, it's been happening for a number of years where women are looking outwardly at themselves, looking at their exteriors and saying, I'm not good enough. And saying, oh, I want to do this. I want to change this. It's just a little tweak here. They start off something small. And just like getting one tattoo when you're younger, you just suddenly get this buzz for just marking up your body.
I think we live in such a social media world. I think when we were growing up, something happened to you or, it would just be in your small circle. Nowadays, if something happens, it's out to the world.
Really, social media, isn't
it?
So
social media. So people worry so much about how they look. They worry so much about what
people think about them as well, which is irrelevant. And it's also the social media, isn't it? It's the women that are on there with their, BBLs and the editing of the pictures, and they don't actually look like that in real life. When they're posting it online, they're making other women feel insecure about themselves, thinking they need to live up to a standard of perfection, and it's not knowing that the women that are taking these pictures are editing even down to their nostrils and their lips and their teeth.
Spend a lot of hours.
You understand? It's a lot of editing.
But if they're editing, that's one thing. But there's the ones that actually edit in their whole self.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like I get a lot of people saying to me, "Oh, nowadays is your pub real?" And I'm like,
"Of course it's real.
Mine's real.
I'm carrying this junk around.
Back in the day, having a big booty was not the thing, and I put that down to the lack of a certain culture not being able to orchestrate their body the way black women are built. Because to me, black women are built to perfection.
No matter how
it was J-Lo. Remember, it's like J-Lo. No, I know, but I'm saying J-Lo in her jelly. And then Bootylicious. It was around that time where it started to be like you can have your curves, and now it's gone.
All Kim K, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't really like to give too much credit.
I don't want
to
to give
credit.
credit. She's a culture vulture, so So I don't know if we're giving credit to it or just highlighting the fact that she's a vulture culture.
No, maybe she. Maybe that's the way we're saying that she's a culture vulture. But I'm just saying it's like everyone was like, oh, like Kim Kardashian. No, I haven't got a big booty like Kim Kardashian. There's a rapper, an English rapper, and she said. She wants a big baby like her auntie in it, not like Kim Kardashian, and that's
reference
fake.
Your community, reference,
and that's
it's
fake, and that's what I'm saying. She brought that wave, and there's a lot of people starting to change.
The good HP booties, higher purchase. Because what happened is at the time, they were encouraged to pay off their 5-year loans. So all of a sudden, you saw these girls with like big booties in the UK, and were like, what they eat? They eating nerd. You understand? They paid off for that HP booty. They took 5 years. Put money. They were paying off for 5 years. So after the 5 years, that's when they were able to go and get the surgery done.
Wow.
So they were paying off, yes, darling. There's a way. You pay it off monthly installment.
That's actually quite sad.
Yeah.
What are they going to do now? Now that things are reversing, Black China, for example.
Oh
yeah. So
Kim K.
Yeah. Okay. So Black China, she's removed But
Yeah.
there's a big story about her. She's removed all the bits, the tits and the bits.
She had fillers.
And the fillers in the
actually.
lips.
If you look at, okay, so that's a before picture.
She looks so much better in
When
in
she
the
had-
after.
She looks amazing.
when
But she
she
still looks
had-
pretty. But
So the one in orange is her with the fillers, butt fillers, face fillers, whatever fillers, the surgery.
Okay.
Right?
ain't we
That was
got none of her
before.
booty? Where's her booty at?
Yeah, I know. Really, it would make sense if we actually
Yeah,
saw the chest.
I
and
bet
the
she's not
boobs.
posting her booty now.
Now she's fully.
Well,
So the
she
one on
probably
the
got a bit
right,
of
the one on the
booty.
right
I know,
is the
but
most
just
recent.
Just not gadunk
picture.
gadunk.
I'm saying, but she's probably
Guys.
not got like a before and after of the butt because she's
No,
hiding it.
maybe it's private. But the one on the right in the blue, it's her now. This was a
Oh,
recent. This was like
gorgeous, yeah.
less than a week picture of her back in her normal, like to her without all the fillers and all the surgery.
I
And all
mean,
that. And she's even looking
she's
more
gorgeous.
decent. Look at her.
She is
Does.
gorgeous.
She's
She's
beautiful.
beautiful. But what was the reason why she did it? Does anyone know that? Wasn't it something to do with
Well,
her age or?
No, her mum.
It's
did,
all about the mullah, really.
I think her mum came out and said something about her medical condition. So I don't know if it's actually.
Oh, as in the reason why
Her
she's
health.
reversing it now.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
I
it has
thought-
to do with her medical.
I swear there was some kind of statement about her growing old. She's getting older now. Isn't this the one that was on OnlyFans?
Yeah, she's
Oh
cancelled it
yes,
now.
she made
And she
millions.
was on there doing the twerk and
I
all
don't
the
know what she
stuff.
was doing. I know she's
Yeah,
got
'cause I didn't look-
OnlyFans
I
and
didn't-
made
I ain't got-
millions
I
during
ain't got it.
lockdown.
Yeah, so
But the thing is, once you subscribe, ching, payment's done. So she didn't really need to be doing anything extravagant.
yeah, but she lived her life in social media, and that's what she was doing.
Mhm.
But now it's like she's got to an age, and I heard there was some talk about her that she's getting to her age. Her kids are getting older. She doesn't want.
Okay.
The content's still there, honey. It's not gonna go. It's out there.
She can pay to remove it. She's
And,
got enough
then
money.
regardless if she's doing it now or not, when her children get old enough, they're gonna know who she is.
Not necessarily.
You don't you think so?
Not
Well,
necessarily.
if Kim K could get on with what she was getting on with and still be.
Yeah, but they're gonna know about it.
Well,
Okay, butch jobs. Let's move on. That's a trending topic. That was really quite big
Okay.
this week, wasn't it? Her mum coming out and speaking about it and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But do you think it's right because like growing old gracefully or disgracefully? Are we supposed to hold? Because I'm in that stage now. I'm getting on a bit.
Talk for yourself.
Well, I'm getting on a bit.
Exactly.
I don't know about all,
Still
but
young
I'm
and
getting on a
fresh.
bit. But then it's like, are you supposed to stop being sexy? Are you supposed to
No,
stop dressing
be
a certain
you.
way?
No,
and
be you.
because she's now like I've got to this age, I want to be like I think I'm going to obviously be me, and I've been disgraceful this whole time, so I'm probably gonna say that way. But you know,
I definitely think that it's good for people that have gone down the road of orchestrating their body or doing that surgery to highlight the risks, because a lot of women have died
Yeah.
from getting this BBL.
Yeah.
And that is something that I would maybe encourage people like Black China to kind of make people aware of the risks. If she does have a medical condition,
I think it's caused by.
I think she should come out and say. But I don't.
Her mum's
Even
speaking for
saying
her
that, I
as
don't think it's
usual.
gonna change anything.
She hasn't spoken. She
What did her
just
mum
just
say?
dropped a picture. Her mum, Tokyo Tony, what she's
Woman's
called.
toxic.
She is very toxic. She's come out and
Over.
she's speaking on behalf of her daughter. She's saying she's so proud of her now that, she never really wanted her to have any of those things. And, that it's really important that Black China is making this step and letting people know, because some people are doing these things in their closet. These people that have made money on social media and they're not talking to the kids about it or letting people be aware of the side effects and the health issues that they
course.
actually face. Some of them will still be doing suffering and smiling and suffering, but the actual reality of what they're going through is so major. So her mum's quite proud of her. She's just
Yeah. Some of them have died, and I really want women to think about why they're doing it. And if you're doing it to, appease men or to get more attention from men, you really need to put things into perspective. Like, some of these men are not putting their lives at risk to extend their
they don't
years.
they
But
don't really
some of them
care
are
though,
it
to
is.
be honest
There
with
is
you.
doing that.
There is a lot of pressure. Like, I feel like I'm quite lucky. I ain't got that much at the top, but I've got quite a bit at the bottom, and I work with it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's been a definite move to, where's the booty, where's the hips? She needs to be thick. And then the women who are slim are feeling the pressure. I'm
telling you, I was on that end
and ran
of it.
packing their bum with silicone.
No, I didn't pack anything.
doing-
I just
Started
you
to
just
go
got
up.
love me
You
for
just
me.
wear-
wearing push-up pants and doing, because you've got to try
I'm doing
and
the most.
everyone's doing the the thing,
The waistband
waist
trainer.
trainer.
waist
Yeah.
trainer, so that you
Yeah.
can be.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's a
That's
lot
the
of
peer pressure
pressure.
that comes from social media.
Yeah.
Of trying to be this epitome of perfection. Where, as I said, a lot of these women, they're taking the pictures and they are editing their waistlines. A big giveaway of the fake booty is the phi bum ratio.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
noticed
yeah.
that?
No,
Like,
that's a bit
what's the
mad.
sister of Kim K? Her legs are so thin. Her thighs are so thin.
What, the
Yeah,
one
then
that they
and
said
then
is
they
just like the
turn
same
around,
dad?
it's like,
Chloe.
No,
Chloe.
it's always, is it Chloe? No,
Chloe.
not
It's not Chloe
Chloe.
Kardashian. The first
other
one, the
one.
eldest one.
No,
The
what's her
eldest.
name?
Okay,
don't
not
know, all
really
the
relevant.
same one
But
to
you know
me.
what? Saying that on your point that you made saying social media, if you guys think back to the 1980s, or no, 1980s, the 18th century, for example, they used to wear corsets,
Oh,
and it was
yes.
high in fashion. A lot of women died at that point too.
No,
'Cause it
but,
used
but
to
do you know
why?
why they did
Why?
that?
Because
That
the
had to do
African
with
women
because
were
of
coming
social
over.
because
that. What was the lady's name? Oh, they made her
Not
a
that.
spectacle. Like they put her as like a freak show.
the black woman.
Oh,
But the
yes.
shape of the
Yes.
black woman with the big bum. That's
Yes.
why they were doing
When they
wearing the
were-
corsets to try and
Yes.
get
Because when they would
the
bring them
African
over,
snatch.
that's
You know
right.
what
When
I'm
they
saying?
brought the Africans over to Europe,
Mhm.
a lot of the the slave owners, the Caucasians, they liked the African women. And then that would obviously cause an insecurity in the Caucasian women to why they wore that corset, which gave the illusion
The
of a
shape,
big
yeah.
booty. Do you
Oh, wow.
understand? It's everything. It's all history.
Wow.
So you say they liked. I just feel like I need to clarify that. I don't know.
Oh, they definitely did.
They had and they used.
And they continue to take,
Yeah.
use,
But, yeah.
and have,
Yeah.
and they will continue to do. But I don't even know when that cycle's going to stop. Moving on to our main topic for the evening is vaccine killers.
Oh dear.
Guys,
I
I
just
remember the
can't.
conspiracy. I remember thinking back to 2019 when it all started. COVID-19 was introduced. Is it fact or is it conspiracy? The vaccine.
Look, you go first. You go first, Brains, because I'm just gonna be blurting and ranting. I ain't gonna make a lot of sense. There's gonna be a lot of angry stuff coming out. So you be say some sensible, statistical stuff, and then now I'm gonna say my bit.
The main aim of the UK COVID-19 vaccination program was to protect those that were most at risk. And they put that down to people that had underlying medical conditions and the elderly.
Lies.
Obviously, it was first detected in Wuhan, China, in 2019. It was in December 2019. They never, made mainstream media never made people aware until I believe maybe January or February. It was quite late. And just like Supremacy Works, they felt that we're not going to get it. That was the view of the UK government and the states that it's in China, it's not going to affect us, and obviously it did. So it moved on from the COVID coming out to an establishment of pharmaceuticals, big pharma, building a system, money-making system of vaccinations, which didn't actually go through the chemical trials. Chemical trials?
Yeah.
So there's like a 3-stage process. So you have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and that takes approximately minimum of 2 years to create a vaccine. Once you isolate the virus, and it's a process, and they done that within months, and stated that it was within that they didn't they didn't skip
to take, didn't they?
They did, without actually doing the correct tests. And there was a lot of scientists, medical professionals that, the greatest around the world from, Harvard and Oxford, that, try to advise people against taking the vaccine. And what they did is they blocked them, they mute them.
A lot of blackballing at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you remember, it first started off with them saying that black people were immune.
Yeah.
Then that transitioned into, okay, here's the vaccine, let the black people go first. And that is what raised my eyebrow, because they don't really care about us, right?
Right.
Black people go first, like they wanted to use us as guinea pigs. And eventually, 2 years later, it's come to we now know that people have died from the vaccine.
And the government are no longer pushing it. That's what my biggest thing
They're
is.
pushing it, but not as hard as they are.
No, they're not pushing it.
They have the 4th booster now. There's a 4th booster.
That's because they just need to, something, isn't it, really?
Okay.
Well, why is the 4th booster? It was booster 1, booster 2.
I don't know. All of these boosters, all of this, to me, okay, I'm trying to be logical and trying to be polite, but I think from the beginning, it's been, they say conspiracy, but it's like a plan that was in place. When you say that they did the vaccine in months, they had this plan in place for a long time.
Oh, they did.
Then it's like they can't. To me, they knew what they were doing. They had the plan, and I've just watched it unfold. I think at the time I was very like, everyone was telling me I'm a scaremonger. I'm like, but they changed the laws so you couldn't stand up and say anything against it.
Yeah.
You can't even protest. And there's so
Yeah.
many laws and things that have been changed for the fabric of society because of COVID and the vaccines. And then now you've got people, the Pfizer guy, they've now come out and said that actually, no, sorry, it doesn't stop transmission.
Actually, they're not even saying anything.
No, they're not.
at
Sorry.
all, actually.
He's saying good evening. What was it? What did he say? Good night or good day. The
Well,
guy's trying to ask
initially-
questions, and he's just
Initially when he first created the vaccine and someone asked him, have you taken it? He said, no, I don't want to skip the queue. Me and my family will wait. Do you understand? So he
I
knew what
remember
he was
that.
doing. His name is Dr. Baller, isn't it? So in February 2023, an organization took the CEO of Pfizer, Dr. Baller, to the regulator in the UK, and he was found guilty of misleading the public about vaccinating children.
Can we hear what's being said here at all? No. Is there some interviewers
we now
asking
know
him questions
that the vaccines didn't stop transmission.
they're following him. He's walking on. So it's walk and
It's just
talk. And they're
disgusting.
saying, how do you feel about the vaccine?
they're saying, why didn't you share with people that you knew that it didn't stop transmission?
Oh, yeah, that was it.
And he was just like, oh, good day, have a good day. The guy's like, no, I'm not gonna have a good day until you tell me why. And it's you know what it is? These people are billionaires.
Yep,
And
they are.
the funny thing is, he's coming out of the World Economic Forum. Now, this place that he's coming out of is the same place where they had the stimulation of COVID, where they had Event 201,
Okay.
where they did a stimulation just in case there's some kind of a pandemic happens. We need a plan, and they basically planned out everything that they were going to do in case this epidemic came or pandemic.
In case it came.
In case, but then looked, it came, and look, they were ready with the vaccines. They also changed the laws. I remember at the time, I must put out a post because they send around a consultation for people to say yes or no. Do you think they should do this or not? And it was like about people being able to administer the vaccine. No, a waiver.
Unexperienced people.
Yeah, just not health professionals.
Yeah.
A waiver so that they can't be sued.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's any damages, if you get hurt or you get sick because they can't be touched.
Yeah.
So now this guy's just walking out of here, blah de blah. Oh, have a good day. You've made millions by misleading. What's going to happen?
Nothing.
Where are the consequences?
Like you said,
And it's
no
the same thing with that they've done across governments. The whole place was locked down. And to me, I think COVID, obviously there's something going on, but it's like a flu. How come flu disappeared? Now flu's back.
Yeah. Well, I've got some
yeah,
stats.
After the war, and the way that they changed the shock and the scare, COVID just went out the window. There's a war now. Let's not worry about that. Oh, everyone can just go back out now. Are you sure we get inside? No, go. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that just kind of shows that, to me, the threat that they made, that was the scaremongering.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people did die, and I think that, I believe from nurses. I've got a few friends that are nurses. A lot of people died from the oxygen that collapsed their lungs. I do have some stats. Obviously, I wasn't able to memorize all of this, but in February 2021, Pfizer had received more than 1,200 reports of deaths allegedly caused by the vaccine. Tens of thousands of reports about adverse reactions, including miscarriages, 2,000 reports of cardiac disorders. So Pfizer were well aware that the vaccine would result in mortality rates, high mortality rates, and it is effectively a crime against humanity.
That's
So
why they
from a
call it the
spiritual-
killer vaccine. That's what they're labeling it, isn't
the
it?
same. Bill Gates, Planned Parenthood, all of this is about reducing the population. This is things that they've said out loud.
Population control.
And I was saying it at the time. They've said out loud. They need to reduce the population.
Well, from a spiritual aspect, as if the devil took scientific warfare against human race. And I believe it was Trump that switched half of the vaccines, and they became aware of this. If you remember, at one point they said if anyone had a vaccine before a certain date, you have to retake it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And that was because he switched some of the vaccines with saline solution. So, thank God that, many of you that are probably watching, you don't have any adverse effects, because he knew that they were creating a killer vaccine.
Yeah, he's always been speaking
Yeah,
against it.
he was the one that kind of stood up against it all, and trying to drain the swamp and all of that
Oh
stuff.
yes, he did.
That-
He did.
that-
He
that
did.
was a time- that was a time when we were all researching Rockefeller and conspiracies and this Bill Gates generation, actually, his great grandfather was one of the first, was amongst people that advocated for the educational system in order to make people workers, in order to make money.
Oh yeah.
So that's just another completely different topic in itself. But we must understand that his whole generation, their generation line, is all about making money and going any way and means
and reducing the population. And
Oh,
there's
of course.
too many.
Yeah.
There's too many people in the world.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. And then the other thing is he's
They're
also
not
got
God, though.
control.
They're not God.
He's also
Oh,
got
no,
control.
they're
Yeah,
not.
but he's
That's
not
not part of
God,
the
but
New
he's
World
taking
Order.
control of all of the seeds
Yeah.
and the seed banks.
Yeah.
So we don't even have access to proper seeds. I think
Oh yes.
he's bought the patents for the seeds.
Genetically modified seeds.
Yeah.
So you can replant them, but they're only going to produce genetically modified
Human
plants.
Plants.
And they also
very, very
infect other
scary.
plants and put their
Children.
strain of their genetically modified, particles amongst others. And I think it's up to
Lot.
16 miles or something that they can infect other plants. Yeah. So
Yeah,
also
we're
with the
on to Bill.
vaccine. Oh no, Bill Gates.
I
Sorry,
could go
just
on. I
to-
could go on about Bill forever, but I'm just saying it's crazy
Yeah.
that people with money have so much influence over the world.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
money
like big
talks.
companies. If you think about Amazon, Uber
Uber
Eats,
Eats,
all of
yeah.
these kind of people, how much money they made because they basically monopolized society.
Done this evil. I remember Googling a farmer whilst we were in lockdown. And Companies House, you can check out every company and find out who the directors are, who the shareholders are. And I screenshot this because I thought the information would disappear. And it was owned by the MPs. Yeah, so Matt Hancock, all of these MPs had a hand in pharma, in the pharmaceuticals, basically, for the UK. And every week, you would see a different director being changed. So they made billions. In total, over a 2-year period, more than 12.9 billion vaccines doses were administered across 184 countries.
And they, you're saying that Hancock
Making money. Every vaccine costs money.
So hold on. Weird. So what you're saying is Hancock, when I had the party, or when I went on Celebrity.
Yeah.
This guy,
Unserious, man.
he can go on Celebrity because he's loaded.
They're all loaded.
Poisoning
They all
off
made
the
money.
whole country.
Yeah.
So he's all right. He can quit.
Yeah.
He can go on Celebrity, sit down and have fun.
Yeah.
Nah,
it's really,
man.
I think it's criminal. I think
It's
a
criminal.
undertaking.
Where's the war crimes?
Yeah, but that's
They
never
want
going to happen
to
now,
arrest
is it?
Putin. They want to get Putin. What about these guys?
Yeah.
And then also, what I noticed at the time was governments forcing their nations to take it or be excluded in society. I think that's when I started starting up thinking I'm going underground because they're going to be hunting people like I'm taking it, people like myself, and thinking, but I am a human being. I have the right also to say I don't
Choice,
want
but
this.
it became society. If you at work, there's a lot of pressure from above for us to take the vaccine, and the majority of the staff were like, no, I'm not taking it. But then there's my sister, for example. She just qualified as a physio. She got herself a job, and they were like, well, unless you take the vaccine, you can't start.
Yeah.
And she was that one. Like, what do I do? Like, she was really gonna take it, and then I said, Tis, no. Don't do it. And then it was the nurses that went out on strike, and then after that they said no, and they squashed it. But imagine that she could have succumbed to the pressure.
Yeah,
she would have gone
which
and
a lot of
taken this
people
vaccine.
did.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, she said, "Oh, actually, no, don't worry about it." And then the effects of what it does, the blood clots,
The cardiac problem.
the cardiac problem,
brain damage.
I was speaking to somebody at the weekend. He was in jail. And he had to have it. He said he had injections and 3 boosters.
Oh wow!
And he said if you didn't take it, you weren't allowed to come out. You weren't allowed to go and
for
do
fresh air and
not allowed to go and do. You'd be on bang up. So they're targeting. And I said to him when I was leaving, I said to him, "Do you know what? I'm really sorry about what happened to you." And everyone was kind of laughing. I said, "But no, this is a serious. Like he's lost his liberty. He's gone to jail. So now those people are vulnerable.
No rights at all.
Yeah. So now you just dose up the whole prison community." Kill them off quick time.
It's not just that.
Dose up all of Africa, kill them ones too. Kill them all off.
Yeah, but they also...
The Bayesians, my cousin had to take it. Otherwise you
to
can't work.
travel, isn't it? I think that's the first trick that they done. They said, if you want to travel, get the vaccine. Everyone went to get the vaccine, and they said, no one's traveling anywhere. Do you remember that? It was like a little trick.
Yeah.
But another sad part of it is they've used people's passions against them. So you see a lot of the athletes, a lot of the sportsmen and women, they were forced to take the vaccine to continue within their, specialist area of their sportsmanship. And a lot of them died. So between March 2021 and June 2022, a lot of athletes died. Over 1,000 athletes, and these are known athletes that we've watched on Olympics, and we've watched on. We've seen a lot of footballers have collapsed with heart problems.
Whilst
young
on the
children.
pitch, or whilst even
these are healthy people. Do you understand? Healthy individuals,
professional athletes.
Soldiers. And these are things that have been blocked from mainstream media. You don't really hear about it.
You're not. But what they did a lot of the time, like, you weren't allowed to talk up. They push people off, like, for example, YouTube is one of the worst. If you're going on YouTube and you're saying something that doesn't go with the status quo, you're out. Like, David Icke, he was going mad. He'd been talking about these people for years.
Yeah.
And then it was like, this is almost like a evidence for him. They just took him off.
And they were hunted. Non-VAT people were hunted. Any content that was shared in order to let the rest of the world know, those things were blackballed.
Facebook, you can't put anything up.
A couple of seconds, literally, you got to. It's literally like their algorithms or their AI that they were using at the time was on point. Someone will put up a video saying, "Please don't take the vaccine. These are the effects that I'm experiencing." Give it 30 minutes max.
They're taking it down.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, and that's
somebody has to take responsibility.
Oh,
they can't do this.
Be held accountable. And that's why Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, a lot of things changed because a lot of content would be blocked on Twitter. And you had people that were coming from, the high places in America, part of the constituents that was talking out to their, people in their constituencies, and they were blocking them. And they had the CEO of Twitter, I can't remember his name, the one before Elon Musk, and they had him in court and they were questioning him. And they said, "How dare you block what I've got to say? You're giving misinformation to people." The worst thing is that people were not given the correct information to make informed decisions about their own health and about what they wanted to do. There was a lot of scaremongering, and there was just a lot of lies and trickery.
Doctors were coming forward.
Yeah, and
it's so funny when you see doctor will be saying no, and then they'll put somebody else on that says, it
contradicts what makes it look like they're contradiction.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy the power of the media and the power of money.
Well, Thailand are the first country to have nullified their contract with Pfizer. The Thailand princess, she fell into a coma about 3 months ago, and they initially first said it was a bacterial infection. And obviously, Thailand princess, her parents got their own, specialists involved, and they now found out that it's all down to the booster jab that she had, and she's still in a coma now. So that contract's the first contract to be nullified with Pfizer. There was another.
But why is it always again money and power? If it was, I'm sure there was thousands of reports of people saying my child is sick after taking this, that, and nothing was done. But the minute a princess of that nation is now sick and in coma, and they've tested that this is the causing factor, now you can turn around and say, actually no, that's it, we're scrapping it, we're not having that anymore in our country. Why were you not listening to the thousands of people? Why does it have to always fall in the hand of somebody that's got influence and power before real change can happen? And also, I'm really upset the fact that nothing's going to be done.
No, nothing's going to happen. There's no liability. All of those people that you mentioned that have dropped down dead, no one. Those people, those companies cannot be held accountable.
What about the fact that they were making it mandatory for children of high school ages?
Well, that's the thing. Children hardly got sick, didn't they? Their children would.
First, they said
they were carriers.
They said that they couldn't get it.
Severe reactions to it.
And then now you're blanket. You're actually giving out doses of this poison to children.
Yeah.
And I've got family members. It's like she's like, well, I've had it, and when it comes for my daughter to have it, I'm gonna have it. I just looked at her.
Yeah, because she's watching mainstream media, so you can't.
But it's crazy. I think I spoke about it before. Me and my sister, she's a microbiologist, and then she was talking about something. She said something about today. I was talking about booster. I said, "Are you all right? These people have come already said that it's not working." And she's, well, it stops hospitalization. I'm like, are you still buying that crap?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of rubbish out there. I think it's just the fact that they came out and they said, if you don't take this, you are going to die. And then people rush, or if you don't,
or you're gonna make your people sick.
or you're gonna make your.
Can't see your grandparents. You're evil.
Yeah,
it's about
that was
society.
evil.
That's
That
what we
was
used to get at
evil.
work. It's about community, isn't it? We're making each other safe. But if you make yourself safe, you go juke up yourself. You're safe in it. Don't worry about me. You're hospitalized. You're not gonna go hospital. You're not gonna catch it. Let me take my risks.
I remember having to writing to my children's school and saying, I don't give consent.
Yeah.
I called. I was like,
Me too.
almost every other day. I was like, I don't know when you guys are planning on, but my son will not. I educated my children and I explained the reasons for my concerns and the reasons for my apprehension and why I don't want them to take it. And I think that that's one of the things that some parents didn't educate themselves, or the social media platforms didn't allow people to be educated because they removed posts and stuff. But in order to find anything at those times, I did a lot of digging.
But there was a lot of stuff out there.
But the thing is,
but it's about believing.
They said it was lies. They're saying people that are telling you these things are bad people. They're punished. They should be punished for even sharing these informations. So a lot of people were scared. And like we said, in terms of, you might bring it home to your parents or to your grandparents or anyone sick in your home. There was a lot of that information.
People's attitudes, like it was actually very much us and them, and like, you non-vax, non-vax. But now it's never really going to be like balanced back. No one's going to say, guys, you were right. Thank you.
No, they're not
going to say that
because they believed what they were seeing. Now, mainstream
now
media was pushing the vaccine.
But now that there's evidence now, none of these people in power are going to turn around and be like, well, actually, sorry, we apologise.
No, they're not.
They're not. They're going to get away with it. Those people that have lost their lives, they're gone. They're dead. Like, I've lost people. It seems like to me, it's like a whole orchestrated thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, it frustrates me to the core. We're still living with the effects of COVID.
Yeah. And it's not, what we're saying is not, designed to scare people that have had the vaccine. Just pray that you had the saline, because that saline was going around, and obviously you're healthy, you're fine. Nothing's happened to you today. So thank God that you're still here. And the plan that they had against you didn't work.
From findings, what company or what brand was the biggest killer? Because all I hear is Pfizer. A lot of people got sick of Pfizer, and there's another one called Moderna. mRNA.
So is that one come back as in it? Because I haven't heard anything about them as such.
Well, there's quite a few. Sorry,
look at our resident.
I should have been screened out.
I want to have something to hear about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I do my research.
You gotta give a round of applause.
Okay, so the UK used 3 vaccines, although 6 were approved by the MHRA, the Medicines and Healthcare Products and Regulatory Agency. Okay, so the first, they were not FDA approved, by the way. Guys, you have to do your research, right? Okay, so the BNT162b2 vaccine and the BioNTech was developed by Pfizer. The CHAdOX1 nCoV-19 vaccine and AstraZeneca were developed by the University of Oxford.
Okay.
And the mRNA-1273 vaccine was developed by Moderna. The expected side effects were flu-like symptoms, where a lot of them resulted in death. So the misinformation.
Well, that's a big jump.
Yes, darling. So
the side effects, from my understanding, are that people were shortness of breath, sudden collapsing, very, very healthy individuals as well. I mean, different levels of health, right? Collapsing, heart attack, cardiac arrest, shutdown of they resulting in brain hemorrhage, comas, hypoxia, amputation. There was somebody that got so sick they had to have some parts of their body amputated.
Wow.
Sudden death, blood clots. So the side effects outweighed for me the taking it. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, it's Russian roulette, isn't it?
Yeah, just playing with your life at that time. Seriously, honestly. And I really do appreciate what you said in terms of saying, we're not saying this to scare anybody. And if you have taken VAC 1, VAC 2, booster 1, booster 10, I mean, it really doesn't matter. If you're still here, be grateful. Yeah? Because there are loads of people that just took the 1 jab and that was lights out. Yeah. And there's some people that are still going through the side effects, are in critical illness now, and will be in terminal, like they'll have terminal issues for the rest of their life, like complicated health issues because of this thing. And I think Nat's most a passion really comes from the fact that nothing's going to be done, no one's going to be compensated, and that I feel like.
And then it gets started on the barcodes that like and what the vaccine does in terms of changing people's DNA and doing all of this stuff. It's like this stuff it's out of a sci-fi film. We're living in it, and it's like it is like a scary movie that we literally live through a scary movie.
It's devastating. People have lost their livelihoods, their careers come to an end. Some, like I said, are long-term illnesses, like
the depression rate as well from the lockdown.
It's a lot.
Mental health illnesses. So it was a lot for the whole lockdown.
It's crazy. And then when you hear things like the COVID-19 virus was patterned, like there's a pattern for it.
Well, that's the thing.
So now we've got to start questioning. All right,
who? Well, it started in Wuhan, China, and the Americans. Everyone blamed China, but what has transpired since then is China was set up by the States, and that's why you see China have now merged with Russia.
At the time, that was all. This is like common knowledge, but it's all conspiracy, and everyone's saying you're crazy.
Yeah.
But there was a soldier there at the time, and they released it, and they're saying it's because they're eating bats and that, but it was much
all the
warfare.
States. Yes, it was.
In order to round up, let's just put this to a close and let's wrap this up. I think we now know that borders are open. Countries such as America, one of the biggest noisemakers in terms of you can't travel unless you're vaxxed. You can't come to our country. They've opened up. Lots of countries have it's like this thing never happened, and it's almost like they're brushing it under the carpet. And it's been really, really, really nice talking to you ladies and getting your views on it. We don't know how you feel about it. We don't know if you've taken the vax or you haven't. Whatever it is, however it may be, one thing that we will definitely say is do your research. When anything you hear about anything, do your own findings. Go out of your way. Things are hidden in books. Yes, this is one of the things that they always try and keep away from Black people, is for us to not read or to find out and do our own research. Any last words?
I just want to be positive. The fact that we made it. We're here. We got through it, and I just really hope that at some stage in history, that people are held accountable for what's gone on, for what they did to society, or to the people who's lost their lives. Somebody needs to take responsibility, or at least give some kind of acknowledgement. Yeah. Not just could have a good day. Because that guy's wallet is fat. He's living a good life.
He is, but there's life after death, isn't it? Like your spirit lives on, and I believe that those people will be held accountable before God.
I hope so.
Any last words, Kay?
God bless you all, and stay safe, love yourself, eat healthy, and just be yourself. Love yourself as you are.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into our live talk back. First time back in a little while, but it's been really cool, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Make sure you tune in.
Take care.